Hello YouTube! Today on the Naughty Librarian, I am doing my wrap-up of the books I read for Spook-A-Thon. So, since it's Halloween, I have my very spooky vampire teeth in. And it makes it very hard to talk because I feel like I'm just gonna have a lisp for the whole video. And hopefully when I'm drinking my wine I won't swallow them. We'll find out! That's where the spooky comes in. So, the first challenge in Spook-A-Thon was to read a book that is a thriller. For this category, I chose Wildfire by Alona Andrews. Once again, this whole series has just knocked it out of the park. It's so good. Oh my gosh, like, I am obsessed. And this originally was supposed to be the last book of the series, and then I heard that there's like maybe a fourth book coming, and I freaked out because like I'll keep reading these as long as these guys keep writing it. Because it's so good. I can't stress enough how friggin' good it is. It's so exciting, and there's lots of action, and the magic in this world feels very organic to the environment that it's in. And our heroine, Nevada Baylor, is so dope. Like, she is like everything you want in a heroine. She's sassy and she's smart. She can take care of herself. She doesn't need to be rescued. She's so cool. Highly recommend this series to anybody who I can make read it. Please read it. It is so good. Another one of the categories was to read a book with orange on the cover. For this I chose Death Trap by Danica Dark, and I only have it as an ebook, so hence it's on my Kindle. But there's orange, and this series is also amazing. Amazing. My teeth are just ridiculous. This whole video is going to sound stupid. But I digress. Danica Dark is one of my favorite authors. She's so witty and funny, and her characters are just amazing. They're so developed and they're very unique, and none of them feel like filler characters where like anyone could be interchanged for anyone else. They all have distinct personalities, so I get like really excited about it. Also, it's very thrilling. It's kind of a slow burn love story with Raven and Christian, and honestly, like, they've just gotta fuck. Like, it's been 3 books of this series and they like still haven't done it, and it's just all sexual tension, and it's getting to the point where I just want to take them and lock them in a closet and not let them out until they start having sex, because it's getting ridiculous at this point, the level of sexual tension. Also, Christian is like life. Everything he says is magic. He's an Irish vampire. I freaking love him to pieces. Again, another really kick-ass heroine, Raven. She doesn't need anyone to save her. She's very smart. She can take care of herself. She's witty. And here's the thing I've started to realize about Danica Dark books is that her heroines take a lot of abuse. Like, she gets the crap kicked out of her like all the time. And like every female in the book she's written are always just getting beat up. And I'm like, who hurt you, Danica Dark? Although it's really just proves how resilient Raven is as a protagonist, because yes, she keeps getting like the crap kicked out of her, but she keeps coming back and she picks herself up and she keeps going. Awesome heroine, awesome funny characters, super lots of action. There's car chases and magic and vampires and mages and all kinds of cool stuff. Highly recommend this series. Another category of the Spook-A-Thon was to read a book based on a childhood fear. For this challenge, I chose Pasadena by Sherry Smith, and I picked it because as a kid I was scared of drowning, and in this book it features a girl who drowned in a pool, and then her best friend's trying to figure out if it was murder or suicide or an accident or what really happened to Maggie. This was really interesting because it's definitely a noir story, but with like teens, so it's YA noir. It follows a lot of the formulas that are very typical of noir, where the characters are all kind of damaged and no one's necessarily like the good guy. These are all like shade of gray guys. I don't want to give away too much, but our lead heroine, Jude, she was the victim of something very horrific when she was a child, and it's a very interesting character choice to not have Jude be like sad and like shy all the time or fearful. She's very much the opposite of that, because Jude is an asshole. Like, let's not put on airs and pretend that she's not an asshole, because she's such an asshole. The whole time you're just like, You have so many opportunities to not be a dick and you take none of them. But it's really an interesting character study to see like a trauma survivor who is just filled with rage, like just unmitigated rage all the time, rather than just being shy and fearful, which I see kind of all the time. So it made it a fresh take on that type of character. And yeah, it was overall very noir. So if you're in a noir, you would definitely really get a kick out of this. Another category in the Spook-A-Thon was to read a book with a spooky word in the title. For that challenge, I chose The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. It's hard to describe what happened in the book because I did not understand a lot of it. It's weird because it's very good. I liked it. Everything in it was great. It's just so much of it didn't make sense that I had to keep going back and rereading because there's so much world building gets constantly crammed into this. Like, there's a glossary at the back. Like, that's how much world building there was that they felt the need to put in a glossary so you can keep track of all this shit. Like, right there, red flag, this is gonna be like a really dense read. That was his main problem, was that there's so much crammed into the story. Like, it's too much at times. Like, there's magic in it. Clairvoyancy is like their magic in this. And there's so many different types of clairvoyance that, like, I could not keep them straight for the life of me. Like, I couldn't. I had no idea what any of the words meant. So that was kind of a hindrance of me, like, really, really, really loving it because I did not understand what was going on. But other than that, it's really well written. It's got a lot going for it. Of course, there's an obligatory romance in it, but I'm not like shipping them. Like, I know people really like them together, but there's a lot of problems in the power dynamics of their relationship. Our heroine Paige is essentially taken against her will by these people called the Rephaim, and they don't really explain what they are. They're kind of like fae creatures, and it's basically just slavery. And her like owner is this guy named Arcturus, and Arcturus and Paige kind of get together. Like, he owns her. Like, I don't see how that's like okay of a power dynamic. And she's supposed to call him Warden right there. Hey, jailer, want to make out? And even after they're like together, she continues to call him Warden, which is really weird because it's like, hey, if you're like in love with this person and he's in love with you and you're like getting all kissy time, why would you call him like your jailer? Like, what? There was this awkward power dynamics here that I don't think they should have explored necessarily. It would have been better to explore that perhaps later when, you know, he didn't own her as a slave. But I'm saying a lot of negative things, and overall in the end, I really did enjoy this. It's just so dense. That was the problem. The problem was with the denseness of it. The last category was to read a book with a spooky setting. For this category, I chose Nevernight by J. Kristoff. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so freaking good. Where have you been all my life? Okay. Whew. It's kind of hard to put all of this into words because there's a lot of world building, but as opposed to the Bone Season where I couldn't keep things straight, I didn't have a problem keeping things straight in here. Even though there's a lot of footnotes, like that one had a glossary, this one has footnotes, so they both seem very dense. However, Nevernight was just much more palatable in its intake because it made more sense. It was easier to like follow. And it's hard to really classify what the plot was. I guess you could say it's kind of like Monty Python and Kill Bill made a baby and they sent it to Hogwarts for murder. That sounds ridiculous, but honestly, that's like spot on. I think that's the best way to describe this book to someone who did not know what it's about. It has that Monty Python humor where it's kind of, you know, tongue-in-cheek a lot of the time. But at the same time, our heroine Mia has gone to murder school. So she's learning to be an assassin And a lot of people get killed. Like, there was so much gore. Woo! I knew it was assassin school, but I did not expect, like, the level of graphic gore that was in here. And I'm not saying that like it's a bad thing, because it was awesome. Definitely not a YA book. This is definitely an adult book. My tooth. Had to fix my tooth real quick because it fell out with all my talking. What was I saying? Oh yes, this is not a YA book. This is a book for grown-ups because there's lots and lots of violence. There's graphic sex. So definitely not YA. Not complaining about it. I wanted a good grown-up read. And this book is freaking amazing. And I never thought it was going to be bad because Jay Kristoff is a great writer. He writes the Illuminae series with Amy Kaufman, and that series is like boner worthy. Like, I love it so much. It's one of my all-time favorite series of books. Nevernight, also top fucking notch. It's so good. Highly recommend. Lots and lots of awesomeness. All right, that was it for Spook-A-Thon. There was 5 challenges and you had to read them all in 1 week, and I did, and I was so tired afterward because I would stay up all night reading because a couple of these books were very long. Like Bone Season and Nevernight were very, very long and took me all week. I was reading them concurrently. And the other ones I read like in a couple days each, so it was pretty easy. But like, ugh. All I did was read. But I don't regret it. I liked Spook-A-Thon. I read some really awesome books for it, so I'll probably do it again next year. If it is going on next year, it probably will. It'll probably go on next year. Please let me know down below if you've read any of these books, which ones are your favorites, which ones are your least favorites. Let me know. I want to know what you think. Alright, that's all for now. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I will see you guys soon. Bye!